Okay, Renato, just saw you again. I had another comment on one of the video you made about the sales stuff, and the thing you made about the comment about how salespeople, the whole thing comes down to salespeople is how much you like you, right? Um, and I really agree with this problem. I mean, and then salespeople, at the end of the day, you're the people that are most expendable. I mean, the people that have the highest turnover tend to be salespeople. Because it's a hard job. It's a real hard job. Been there, done it too. I've been there, done it too. Believe me, I've been there and done it too. Yeah, at France, perfect, right? Yeah, for francophone territories, we did really well for French-speaking territories. Surprisingly enough, um, I just and your whole comment about therapy and stuff. Yeah, I wasn't sleeping for many months because it was just had to have the quota right, and so my doctor wouldn't give me sleeping pills. I said no sleeping pills. We're gonna get this, and we did it. I got through it, but then I changed and came to SCP and I started sleeping again. so that can sometimes actually be came back to R&D. But I'm using all my sales techniques now for other stuff, right? And for training other people to do it and training other people in different contexts. But but the thing I want to get to down to people liking you and you can be really technical and stuff, and people aren't going to like you, right? And you can know some stuff, and they're going to like you. It's how you present yourself, how you present it, how you pitch it. How it fits the context and needs of the customer. Does it fit to their stuff, what they want? Are you just pitching your stuff, or are you trying to help them understand their needs and then help pitch to them, right? And that's the whole thing. And in this industry, the whole thing of trying to kick out incumbents, because this happens. It's such a competitive industry. There's a whole kicking out the incumbents, right? It's all over the place. The whole thing is trying to kick out the incumbents. Replace them, right? And some people are doing partnerships, which is good. You can see a lot of small translation agencies and stuff kind of building partnerships to kind of collaborate and work together. That kind of helps to work to kind of leverage out different needs. But the whole thing in the big companies is that how can I oust the incumbent, right? And a lot is about trust. It's really about trust. This, and I think I've seen you mention this too, and I've mentioned a couple of conference talks too before. But I mean, we're saying things in parallel, right? Neither of us had the idea first or something. We just over time, many of us are talking about this, about sales techniques and stuff. It's about trust, and the whole thing, the big thing for doing this industry, because it's so competitive, so competitive. So much competition is you got to build trust among all your customers, right? And you want to keep them trusting you. And the whole thing is you do everything to not lose that trust. And the problem is if your PMs, your project managers and stuff don't keep up with it, your production doesn't keep up with it, then you lose your trust, right? And so the whole thing the salesperson does is build the trust, right? They build up this trust. They build this to sell it, right? And then their whole goal, hoping and praying, okay, and it depends on how well they follow their projects behind or not, or if they hand it off and kind of don't follow it. How much the trust to keep that trust, and to keep the deliverables going and to do all that, keeps the trust up, so that what was sold up front actually happens behind the scenes afterwards, and then it's delivered. Then we can do it. And this is why you can get people flipping. Churn. We call this churn, right? So telecom and other things call it. People in the high competitive industry, you call it churn. And the whole thing. So the goal. I mean, everyone's looking for churn, right? To be able to kick out the incumbent. So I guess the whole thing is how to build that trust and to keep and to have it so your salespeople are selling trustworthy stuff. And they believe in what they're selling, and they are convinced by it, and they're really passionate by it, and then they sell it, and then they know that it's being done behind the scenes, and they don't have to always be following every single thing, but they can be kept up to date with stuff, and then that gets into cross selling and upselling, right? So they can sell more stuff. But this is kind of something that I didn't hear a lot talked about. That's how I'm talking about it. But I know you're talking about it, right? I mean, I'm not going to a lot of conferences. I have travel budget to go to conference, so I can. I'm in R&D, right? So, and I live in France, not in the headquarters, so can't go to travel, do conferences and stuff. So I kind of do all these webinars and videos and stuff to kind of make up for it. But But I think this whole thing of sales, trust, and I said in one conference, Elia Networking Days, and 2015, thing on minority language, how to make a profit of business out of minority language. And one of the key statements I said was, trust must be earned and not be bought. And that's the whole thing. And you can lose trust in one shot. You can build up decades, even my minority language stuff, decades of stuff. It takes decades to get trust built, right? And you can lose it in one shot. Just some bad move, bad statement, you can lose it. So the whole thing is how to build that trust and then keep it. Keep your customer loyal, and not just based on the idea of trust, but on the fact that you're actually doing it, right? What your promises, what you deliver on. And there's something really key. And I just don't hear it enough. I don't hear people talking about it enough. There's too much about, how to deal with the pricing and stuff and all that stuff for productivity, but it comes down to the end of the day. You got to sell, and you're selling on the trust and how much people like you and what you're doing to make that happen. So kind of a complex thing. It's really complex, really hard to kind of measure specifically. It's kind of like reputation damage and reputation and all that. How do you measure that? It's really hard to measure it. You can do it and extrapolate, but it's a lot of built on what we do as human beings. It's kind of hard to analyze it data-wise. I like to do that, but it's kind of hard to do. So, all right, so that's the topic for the day. Thanks so much. Jeff Allen out.